Support the great work of the Strike 7 Sports Saints discussion section by purchasing licensed NFL fan gear. Items range from Saints hats, jerseys, t-shirts, socks, and so much more. We would greatly appreciate it if you would purchase these items from the text link listed below. The revenue generated from today's offer goes into the funding of the Strike 7 Sports platform. Click on the link strike7sports.com/Saints Fanatics. You will be taken over to Fanatics website. Thank you.
Yo, what's up? This is your boy Derek Point here, Saint Discussions on Strike 7 Sports. And today I want to talk about the Saints' upcoming matchup against the Seattle Seahawks. It's a home game scheduled for week 5 of this season at the Caesars Superdome. I believe it's at 12 o'clock Central Time, 1 o'clock Eastern kickoff at the Dome. But today we're just gonna talk about, our first look at the game, and what to watch for, far as how the Saints can respond and how, certain issues get fixed and all that other stuff. And just a little bit, just give you a little, back brief on this game. This team has a lot of history between each other, excuse me. It all started like around 2010, the year after the Saints won the Super Bowl. Seahawks, the NFC West was terrible that year, and it was people were having a hard time trying to figure out who was going to win it. And I remember Sam Bradford was the rookie starting QB for at the time it was the St. Louis Rams in the NFC West, and it was the last game of the year. And the winner of that game between Seattle and St. Louis was going to the win the division and go to the playoffs. And the Seahawks had a losing record, I believe, at 6-9, and they defeated the Rams and went to the NFC wild card round as division champions at 79, and the Saints were 11-5. The Saints had to go on the road in Seattle. I remember it to this day, man. I was stationed in Alaska at the time. I was just like, man, the Saints got this, man. They can win this game. And just the, as soon as the game kicked off, man, just bad vibes, man. It was just Seattle with Matt Hasselbeck, just one big play after another, man, on the Saints. It just Saints just look out of sorts at the time, and then that I think it was fourth quarter beast mode run, the beast quake run, pretty much sealed it for Seattle. Saints got lost to a 7-9 team, and it's been back and forth ever since, man. And 2013 they started back up again. Seattle went on that Super Bowl run. They was just a better team that year. They beat the Saints twice that year. Marshawn Lynch had a run similar to what he had in 2010, a Beachquake run, but it wasn't that type of magnitude. But Saints got their revenge, I think, around 20, like 3 years later in a game in the Superdome where um, Russell Wilson threw a touchdown pass to, I believe it was, I forgot that wide receiver name. He caught that pass to send him up in the Super Bowl until Russ threw that pick. I forgot the wide receiver's name, but he threw the pass. It was out of bounds. He caught it, but it was out of bounds. Saints won the game. It was in 2016. Um, 20 the Seahawks beat them. Saints beat them again that year. There was 2019 where Drew Brees was missing time because of that thumb injury to Aaron Donald. And everybody was thought crap had hit the fan when the Saints had that tough schedule, and the Saints won 5 games in a row, but it all started against Seattle. So there's some history here between these two football teams. And this Sunday they meet up again in the Superdome, so we'll see. All right, first we're gonna start off with Seattle. These are some things to know about the Seahawks. Stat leaders right now. Geno Smith is having a solid year so far. Think a lot of people are surprised by it. He got 1,000 yards, 1,037 yards passing, 6 TDs, 2 interceptions, 108 QBR, 77.3 completion percentage right now. That's pretty impressive in my opinion. Tyler Lockett, not DK Metcalf, is the Seahawks leading receiver right now, but I'm pretty sure that Metcalf is going to take the lead eventually. But Lockett has 302 receiving yards, no touchdown scores right now on 27 receptions. Rashad Penny, who is a pretty good running back, health has been on has been his only issue. Has 292 rushing yards, two touchdowns, and 6.0 yards per average per carry. So Seattle have a pretty good offense, man. Low key, they have a really good offense. And right now, as I speak, they are in first place in NFC West right now. There's a big log jam in that division right now with Seattle at 2-2, San Francisco at 2-2, and the LA Rams, the defending Super Bowl champions, at 2-2 after they lost to San Francisco on Monday Night Football. Now, something I want to point out here, I saw this excerpt on ESPN.com on the Seahawks page, and that's the Seahawks defense has committed 14 accepted penalties, tied for most in the NFL. Pete Carroll called that a major area of focus, and while he didn't name names, he noted how it's been an issue with their young corners. Tariq Woolen, three calls on him. Mike Jackson, 3 on him, and Kobe Bryant, 2, have combined for 8 penalties for 117 yards. Quote, "You can't fix those," Carroll said. "I want those freaking, out of our game. They turn to explosive plays that don't really show up in the stats." So this is going to be a major emphasis for the Saints right here, man. If they can pick on these young corners right now. Because I think Kobe Bryant down the road, not now, but in the future, Kobe Bryant and Tariq Woolen is going to be some pretty good corners, and Mike Jackson. But this season, I think they're going to get picked on a lot. This is a young secondary. Suns have a young secondary. I don't know if y'all saw the game last week between Seahawks and Detroit, the Detroit Lions. Well, when they won, they barely won by a score of 3 points, 48-45, but that's a lot of offense in that football game, man. If the Saints could have that same type of performance against, same type of performance that Detroit had, but only win the game, instead of losing it, that would pay. That would go a long way. You got weapons. You got weapons that can hurt the secondary, man. You got weapons that can hurt it. Saints defense is far better than Detroit's. And Detroit's got some good players on paper for that defense. But the Saints got a better defense. It's proven that they have shown that they can win games with that unit. So interesting to see how strict the officials are going to be in this game, because how the Saints don't get a lot of calls going their way. We know that. So we'll see how everything plays out. So Geno Smith is their passing leader right now. Todd Lockett leads the team in receiving yards. Rashad Penny in rushing with 292. So this is what to look for in this game. First, we're going to talk about the matchup between Marshawn Lattimore and DK Metcalf. Now, as you already know, last week was not good for Marshawn Lattimore because he got torched by Justin Jefferson for over 42 yards receiving, and I believe 1 touchdown, if I'm not mistaken. It happens, I'm not, Marshawn Lattimore is still a good corner, but all corners can have a bad day on any given Sunday. That's just plain and simple. So he's still a top 10 corner in this league. I would say a top 5 corner. He's a top 5 corner in this league and a top 10 player overall, in my views. But it happens, man. It happens to the best in the game. I think Marshawn is going to bounce back this week against DK Metcalf. He had success against him last year in the matchup in Seattle. It just happens, another thing that the Saints do that I don't like sometimes, they put Lattimore on the island, against, wide receivers. You can't do that all the time, man. The reason why Darius Slay was so successful against Justin Jefferson is because they bracketed Jefferson. He had help over the top, and the Saints didn't do that last week against Minnesota. They just went ahead and put him on the island and just thought that Lattimore would have had it, but would have erased him off the stat sheet, but that didn't happen. And they was doing the same type of plays on Lattimore in that game. Kirk Cousins would go to his left, and Jefferson would be right there. Oh, right there. He threw a side pass, throw a pass to the side, first down. Same thing, crossing routes all the time. If it wasn't on Lattimore, they go to Debo and hit Thielen on one of those plays. So I'm looking forward to seeing Lattimore bounce back against DK Metcalf and take him off the stat sheet. Now Tyler Lockett, that's a different story. Now he could have like I said, that's a guy that you have to watch out for. Tyler Lockett, they can use him in a multitude of ways: kickoff, deep passes, slot receiver. He gets to do it all. So it'll be interesting to see how Dennis Allen deploys Parson Debo on Tyler Lockett. You know. Second, number two, the progression of the offense under Andy Dalton. Last week we saw the offense, move in rhythm with Andy Dalton as the quarterback of the offense instead of Jameis Winston. I'd like to see how's the progression of that going forward. Michael Thomas, I don't think he's gonna play in this game. He wasn't spotted at practice today. Alvin Kamara was in practice. He was at practice today, and I hope that we can see the passes, those short passes to Alvin Kamara come back to the offense. We could see him connect with guys like a Marquez Callaway, guys like Chris Olave. See how this offense moves, man, in rhythm with him as a quarterback for the second week. And if he does well in this game, he's able to put up points. They're able to, strike early in this game. Do better than what he did last week. Minus the mistakes. Then maybe we may have to think about it. You may have to keep him in there a lot longer until Jameis gets better, or if he, decide to roll with Dalton going forward. But the progression of this offense the progression of the offense under Andy Dalton is something to watch out for, something to look for, something to see, because this team has been out of sync, man, for the past 4 weeks. Last week they did a better job of moving the football. Not great under Andy Dalton, but I'd like to see more against a Seattle defense that is not good. That is a Seattle defense that is not good based on the statistics. So we'll see. Last but not least, cleaning up the self-inflicted wounds. Man, the Saints could be 4-0 right now. They could be 4-0 right now if they took care of the football. So penalties, being down, in football games in the first quarter, the first half, not being in sync in the first half with the wide receivers. They got to clean that stuff up, man. This is the game to do that, man. This is like your get right game for the Saints. They have one of these every year, pretty much since dating back to 2017 when they, got things going again. A get right game. Hopefully this is the get right game right here. I thought it was going to be last week against Minnesota, but the self-inflicted wounds messed that up with the fumbles. You let the coach from Minnesota outsmart you with that fake punt. That fake punt. You Andy Dalton turned it over inside the near the Vikings red zone, so they got points off of that. Dante Hardy fumble. They got points off of that as well. You got to clean that stuff up, man. The defense can do enough to where you can get the ball back on offense and put up points, no matter if it's 3 points or 7 points. If they can do that, man, going forward, this could be a really good football team, regardless of who the quarterback is, in my opinion. If they do that, this could be a really good football team. But they got to clean that stuff up, man. Hopefully they can start off fast in that first and second quarter. Because that way, if you do that, you're not in a bind into the second half where the officials start to come into play, and you know how they can get, especially against the Saints. So, clean this stuff up, play better football, ball control, run the football, consistently and not go away from it. Don't do like you did last week. Burrow had like 5.0 yards per carry average, and you just went away from it. And that's because, well, that's mostly because you was down, you was in a bind, you turned the football over, you let Minnesota get into your territory and kick those field goals. So you can't allow that this time, man. You know. So we'll see how everything plays out. All right, man. So you can follow Saint Discussions on Strike 7 Sports on the following platforms. Facebook, you just type in Saint Discussions. Twitter, Saints DS23. IG at Saint Discussions. And our webpage, strike7sports.com/Saints. For our latest content. I post analysis on the site, every other week or every other day on the Saints, previews, analysis, news, all kind of stuff. But follow these pages right here, man. These platforms. This is where you can find most of my work on the New Orleans Saints. All right, that's all I have for y'all for right now, man. Give me a like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Let me know how y'all feel about Sunday's upcoming matchup. Also, check out strike7sports.com/Saints. Latest content in the New Orleans Saints organization. Do not forget to follow me on all the platforms that I listed. Have a blessed night. Peace. I'm out. Who that?